Passport bros are leftover men.
And this is why you keep losing out to the idea of passport bros. Describe, let's talk about it.
Passport bros that's like leftover men. You know what I'm saying? They like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause the real players they don't pick from the good women here, and then they just like.
Passport bros are leftover men. Yeah. Because all the players
done picked from the good women, you know what I'm saying? And they wanna just leave and go somewhere else to a whole nother continent and get one.
That's crazy to have to go to another continent to find love.
I'm saying.
Man, that's
when it's
crazy.
Millions of people here.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't think you guys even hear what you're saying. I don't think you guys are hearing what you're saying. But then you go and clip it, right? And then you go and clip it from your podcast and you put it online and you say, there, this makes sense. If you just, let's for the second say, okay, passport bros are just leftover men, right? You liken it to they're leftover. After the players done picked who they wanted, got them women pregnant, baby mama number 5. So the men are saying, from what's left, the millions that are left, they're like, this isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. This is not what I want. I don't want to play second fiddle. I don't want to be part of whatever you're selling. I'm now going to go to the global market. And they're leftover? Or does it seem like, no, they're kind of making sense? If I can't get what I want here, in terms of dating, in terms of quality, I gotta go for wherever the quality is. And for those men, they're saying, yeah, I'd rather do it elsewhere. Now remember, all this was very commonplace. It happened in the military, it happened when people were stationed overseas, it happened with white people in the community were doing it for a time. When the black people started doing it, now it became a problem. Now it's an issue. Now they're leftover men. Now they're issues. Now they're not the players. These men never purported to be the players. You forget it costs money to travel. It costs money for you to go back and forth consistently, or it costs ingenuity and strategy to say, you know what, I'm going to get a job that's remote and secure, and I'm going to leave. You've got people here realistically nearing retirement and seeing you can't continue the standard of living you have, even if your standard of living is not even high. Rent continues to goes up, mortgage continues to goes up. You may even have a mortgage. You may look and say, in terms of retirement, on average, by the time you're 60 something, you got $250,000 saved for retirement. It makes sense. What do they now consider? I may have to stretch this money. I may go overseas. I may get better bang for my buck. You can understand that in terms of economics, but you always want to try to shame men into saying, yo, something's wrong with you. But let's roll with this idea, right? They're leftover men. So what? Right? So what? Now what happens? Now what's part of this conversation? What you're trying to do is shame a group of men, a small group of men, into compliance. They're telling you, cool, I've tried dating here. It's difficult. It's not rewarding. You say the same thing. You constantly complain about the men, about dating. It's one of the number one complaints today. So you look at men that said, I'm going to outsource the solution and I'm just going to date outside. I'm going to save up my little PTO and I'm going to leave. That's the solution they've engineered, rather than try to continue to have conversations with you and say, hey, some of these demands that you have may be sort of out there. Hey, the way your behavior kind of exists, I would want someone a little more feminine. Hey, could you be in better shape? Hey, could you have a culture that sort of supports this and propagates and teaches their young to be like this? No to all those things. Okay. What are they supposed to do? The idea is they're going to sit here and continue to bang their head against the wall. Meanwhile, you want to look and say, well, the players had their choice. So accept the scraps, accept the leftovers, accept the baby mamas, or let these people have their say and their choice and go where they want. You say the same thing when people go and say, oh, they're dating interracially. It's the same issue. It's a non-issue when a black woman gets up and finds a white man. You praise her for that. Okay, it's fair. It's no issue when you have an older black woman dating a young man. No issue, it's fair. It's the same concept here. The men are just saying, hey, if this is my life and this is my money being spent, I'm going to go and at least get closer to what I'm looking for, closer to what I want. Some of the common complaints, some of the common ways you try to shame men into saying you shouldn't be doing this is they just want your money. What is the difference here? What is the difference here? You constantly talk about a man has to make X, Y, and Z, 6 figures, deep 6 figures, in order for you to stay home so you can take care of the kids. And even then, when you come back from taking care of the kids, from making all that money, you have to help me take care of the kids. You have to cook half the time. You have to take care of half your chores. Otherwise, you neglect my unpaid labor. Or they're saying, let me go where my money's actually long. Even if she just uses me to fund her family and herself and her family, what's really the difference? Let X equal, you need my money. Y has to be, what am I getting in return from that? You haven't been able to answer that question. It stems from this very same thing about what do you bring to the table? The answer's always been femininity, but you keep seeing the skirting around that. People are leaving the United States and dating overseas because they're looking for femininity. I've been saying it, I'm screaming it. It doesn't seem to matter. All you do is double down on your own behavior and then yell at men for not acquiescing to it. Eventually, you get the results that we've been getting. Less people are interested in actual relationships. Situationships are on the rise. No one's looking to commit and do the family thing with you. You say the same thing. You even encourage, hey, date outside your race. With FIFA, with the World Cup, you guys are going, women are gushing over Scottish men and how they partied with them, how they seemed, ready to say, why can't you American men be more like them? Is that not sort of the passport ideal? You want a better flavor. You want a better flavor of men. You've got the recipe, but now you say, you figure if I add this and take away a little bit of that, the flavor's better. It's the same thing. And we're going to completely ignore that women do the same thing. How many times you see white women going to African or Caribbean places for what? For sex tourism. For the same thing you look and accuse men of doing, you constantly commit the very same sin. But it's okay when you do it. It's bad when they do it, because when men do it, you visibly feel the difference in your options dwindling. It's already a hazy concept. As you get older, the options die off. Now, you even have more and more men saying, you know what, I'm good on that. I'm fine on that. That's the problem. That's the issue. When men say, all right, I'm going to go over here and try, I don't got to shame you on my way out. This is not to say that shame has not occurred, right? We call it out on both sides when we see it. But so much guilt and shame is brought upon those men that are saying, I just want to be happy. And if that means me relocating overseas, me finding someone and dealing with them overseas, I'd rather that and the hazards of that than try to continue to do whatever it is here that we're failing to do. You got to give people credit. You got to let people live in that sort of sense. You want to continue to shame them when you ignore the very real facts of what you're saying is how you say, yo, you got to be ready to take the leftovers. You got to be ready to take the scraps. No, I'm good. Playboy, you can have the scraps. You can deal with whatever. You can sit here and be baby daddy number 4, or you could be the one that's making a bunch of baby mamas. It's up to you. No one's shaming you. No one's coming at you saying, hey, could you stop that? Could you not do that? We've exhausted that sort of resource. We've said it enough times. This is what we're looking for. And in return, as the market changed, it just makes sense for you to leave, go to another store. The store's not carrying the brand that you like. You don't want to settle for something less. You leave, you go get something else. If you're in the market for a high market, a supercar, you're just not going to say, well, this Toyota will do. No, not even, hey, this Supra will do. No, you were looking for a Huracan. Did you see a Huracan? No. So you don't just say, I'll just buy whatever you have in stock. You go where you're appreciated, you go where you're valued. And it goes the same for women. We just can stop calling it out and try to make it seem like it's a less than option. They're saying this is exactly what I'm looking for. If they're going to Thailand, they're going to the Philippines, they're going to Brazil, they're going to Colombia, what are you supposed to do against that? You can't stop them. Complaining and screaming about it isn't it. You can either conform, give them the product and what they're looking for. If men are saying, I want you fit, you're not fit. So what's the percentage in the black community? There's black women that are overweight. And not just medically, oh no, I'm big. No, you see it yourself whenever you go outside. Whenever you look at all these pictures of people going out in nightlife, wearing clothes that don't really fit, showing, hey, cool, I can't get what I want there. So I'm not going to now settle someone that weighs just as much as I do. They're going to say, listen, let me go somewhere else. Let me go to another club. And then I go to another club, then another club, until you find that club that actually carries the type of clientele that you're looking for. It's the same thing you do when you say, all right, we're going to go to the hood spot, or we're going to go to the high-end spot. What type of night we're trying to look for. You can't shame people who say, I don't want to be in the hood right now. I want to have the high-end clientele. High-end clientele tends to do things this way. It's the very same thing. Listen, if you disagree, let me know down in the comment section below. If you see other videos on your screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those and those videos. And of course, if you listen to Sound My Voice now, you have not subscribed, I think you should. You're trying to build something dope. See you in the next one.